everyone. So, I have finally finished painting Street Fighter Chun-Li. This one is the Ichiban Kuji figure which I had recently reviewed, and yeah, this one was quite the experience because I tried something new with it, and also I did make some modifications to make her legs a little bigger, if that is the correct term. Let's just say that I decided to add more mass to her legs. So I did make some changes, and after that, the major difference in this particular figure is I decided to paint it in the pixel art style. I referenced the figure, basically I referenced the painting from the illustration that was there on the box itself. I believe it is from the earlier Street Fighter games where they still were using pixel art, and I decided it would be fun to try and use that style to paint the figure itself, the whole figure. And it turned out to be quite the challenge. I have to be honest, it turned out to be very challenging and took a long time. I think this one took me around 2 weeks just to paint, which is quite long for me, and I'm not used to doing that because every session I had to mentally prepare myself that okay, I'm going to paint this. I have to plan out the shadows, the highlights. Not shadows, I think I mostly did highlight work in this one, except for the skin, of course. Everything else was starting from a deeper or darker shade. Why am I saying deeper? I don't know, but anyways, starting from a darker shade and moving on to a lighter one, which was the obvious approach, considering that I was trying to, paint it in a pixel art style. So basically, painting with like square patches. Another challenge in this thing is, since pixel art is more suited to illustrations and those kind of things, it becomes complicated when you have to put it on a 3D figure. Okay, I seem to be out of my mind today. I'm just blabbering anything. But how is that different from any of my other videos? So anyways, yeah, if if you're listening, yeah, I appreciate you for listening to my mindless chatter, because sometimes there's some good coming out of it, but either way, continuing. So yeah, it becomes quite the challenge when you have to put those square patches on a 3D figure which has curves, and it looks, I would say that initially it will look a little strange, considering that there are like square patches and then they cut off into a curve, but I would say that is me nitpicking on the style itself, which is not really necessary. I mean, honestly, I'm very satisfied with the way it turned out. I think the first time I had seen anyone paint with this style is from an artist, Man. I think she had painted another Street Fighter figure quite some time ago. I think last year, if I remember correctly. You can check her Instagram. She's quite popular. I'd seen it. I didn't really, back then I didn't really think much of it. I was like, yeah, it looks good, but not something I would be that interested in trying. But when I got the Chun-Li figure, I was kind of drawn towards it because of the illustration on the box. So I decided that it would be fun to try it out. And honestly, it turned out to be quite the challenge. Like, more of a challenge than the normal cell shading, that I usually do. And honestly, like, if someone asks me if I would recommend trying this style of painting, I would say no. I mean, it's not, until and unless like you have a lot of patience and you are ready to spend like 3 to 4 weeks, taking breaks and painting normally, then it's fine. You can go for it, like it's worth a shot. But if you're starting off with painting figures, this is not what you should start with, because honestly, after having finished this, I feel like I have been incinerated. Like people get burnt out. I have been incinerated. Like there's nothing left of me. The ashes have also been burnt. So yeah, that is the level of fatigue that I am experiencing after painting this. And on top of that, like I did end up running out of quite a lot of material, which I would have to reorder, and it's going to take time, so maybe I'll take a break before resuming painting. But yeah, it takes quite a lot. This particular style demands a lot of energy from you. It's I generally paint like after I come back. Like you do your stuff throughout the day, you get tired, you come back, you relax, unwind and paint. But something like this, if you come back stressed, this is just going to add to that stress. This is not going to change things up. You are not going to unwind with this style. At least that is what I felt like throughout this particular painting. So basically like last 2 weeks. And yeah, it's I don't know, it's painting is stressful. Like painting this in this style is stressful, but once you have applied a particular layer, then you know just take a step back and look at the whole figure. It looks really nice. Like you see how things are coming out, and I feel like that is what motivated me more than the painting itself. Generally, it's the process of painting which you enjoy, or ideally which you are supposed to enjoy. But in this case, I was enjoying like looking at how the figure is coming together with each and every layer, because that is another thing. This figure used multiple layers compared to all my other paintings. Like in general, when I'm painting in shell shading style, that takes like 3 to 4 layers at max to maintain a good contrast and have clear distinction between the shadows and highlights. This one, her leggings itself took like 6 layers, 5 or 6 layers. Even the clothes were like 4 to 5 layers. So every part had like different number of layers to it, and I was continuously mixing colors. So yeah, I would say that this thing was actually quite complicated compared to my usual paintings. This was, I don't know, you could say that this was a challenge to maybe like a step up from the usual style. But honestly, I just see it as a variant of the paintings I do. So yeah, this was quite the experience. I cannot define this as a good experience or a bad experience. In general, I would say it was quite the experience. It took a lot of effort, to say the least. But honestly, like I am really happy with the results. It looks amazing, at least to me. I don't know how people will see it, because I'm sure like this kind of shading and painting is not really everyone's cup of tea. So maybe people won't like it as much, but I love the effect it creates. I love the final look of it. And honestly, like I'm happy that I spent the amount of time I did, because I even went back and reshaded her skin because it was a little too dark. So I had to add in a layer of lighter color to balance that out. So it took considerably more effort, but honestly, I am really happy that I did put that effort in. It looks really nice. I did leave out a lot of recording from this video because just didn't bother to record a lot, because then I would have ended up with a lot of recording. Like even now it's around 14 minutes. I'm sure it would have gone up to like 30 or 40 minutes, because each layer was taking a lot of time. Just creating those patches, planning out how each and every patch is going to look. that was time consuming. So even then, like, this particular video covers most of the, major chunk of the work which was done, so it's not like you're missing out on anything important. I just decided not to record the smaller parts. But yeah, it quite the experience. Should you try it? Well, I don't know. Ask yourself, are you patient enough to, try it out? And if you think you are, well, go for it. I mean, I never encourage people to shy away from a challenge, but before you take a challenge, you should know where you stand. So based on that, you can make an educated decision. So yeah, it looked nice, quite the experience, amazing results. You can check the 360 of the figure at the end of this video. And yeah, this was I would say this was fun. I mean, looking at the final figure was really fun. So that's about it for this video. I don't know when I'll get back to painting again, because I do have to stock up on stuff and restore myself after having been incinerated by this painting. So yeah, I don't know when I'll be back. Hopefully next week or next to next week. But till then, I'll see you in my next video. So bye bye.